This year's Summer Spectacular may be all about cartoons from the 1980s, but that actually gives me the opportunity to use that and my Patreon exclusives to take care of some other reviews I've wanted to get to for a while. Of more comic strip-based animated TV specials. Back in the 80s, these cartoon specials were frequently shoved into prime time, and a lot of comic strips had them. Not just Garfield and Peanuts. A few of them I already covered back when the second Summer Spectacular was about comic adaptations, including the 1987 special Blondie and Dagwood. At the time, I pointed out that Blondie did get a second special, but I couldn't get a hold of it. Oh ye of little faith, as that one finally made it back into my hands. So it's finally time to look at Blondie and Dagwood second wedding workout. We open with Mr. Dithers doing something he's not used to. Getting grilled by someone rather than doing the grilling. He's getting it from his biggest client, Ferguson, demanding the renovation on his office building be completed by his given deadline. I think this is to suggest that Dithers only pushes Dagwood hard because he gets pushed by the clients in order to make him more sympathetic. But still, seeing him get berated just makes me smile. Ferguson does promise a huge bonus if they make the deadline for Dithers and Dagwood, since he knows Bumstead is the one who does all the real work. Yeah, they actually portray Dagwood as a more than competent employee in this show. Who knew?
Bonus? For me? Gosh, Blondie'll be so proud. And just in time for our... Today is my 20th anniversary.
Well, give or take 50 years. Yeah, I'll get more into that in just a bit.
I'm gonna have to take the rest of the day off, Mr. Dithers.
Take the rest of the what? Where?
Did I mention in the last review that Mr. Dithers is voiced by Skeletor? Makes sense. So Dagwood goes on this mini shopping spree to try to find Blondie the perfect anniversary gift, and he finds it in this diamond ring. And he figures he doesn't need to spend 2 months' salary on it because of that big juicy bonus that isn't guaranteed. So he up and gets the ring on credit, figuring he can pay it all back next payday. Because who needs to save up for your kid's college?
Happy anniversary, honey.
Surprise? But our anniversary isn't until next week.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh, Dagwood, I love you.
That's sitcoms for you. Forget your anniversary by a week early and you're a sweetheart. Be 6 hours late and you're sleeping on the couch. It's here that everyone starts looking through the old photo album, another classic relic from the 80s, and they do kind of gloss over the actual original wedding, and there's a reason for that. See, when Blondie and Dagwood were married in the comics in 1933, it was kind of a Romeo and Juliet story with a slightly better ending. Blondie was considered to be beneath Dagwood socially at the time, being just a common flapper girl, while Dagwood was to inherit a railroad empire, and he had to be written out of his family's will in order to marry her. Though given how much the railroad industry fell in the years afterward, I say they were probably better off. That backstory has pretty much been forgotten ever since, with the whole strip being pretty much a family sitcom. And no, this is definitely not a period piece because of some plot elements we'll see later. Anyway, it's here where Dagwood gets the big idea that he and Blondie get married all over again. I'm sure a wedding renewal in a family sitcom will go over just as easily and effortless as a standard wedding does.
I wouldn't say this was too fancy, would you, Daisy?
The next day is apparently take your dog to work day, as Dagwood brings Daisy to the construction site because that's safe. Though to be honest, it was watching this special where I first learned that Dagwood actually worked for a construction firm. Though I always thought Lou here ran an actual diner and not just a catering truck. Anyway, the main point of the scene is for Dagwood to lose the ring, since he apparently wears the same pair of pants every day, or just carried this ring around with him all the time instead of storing it someplace safe. Yeah, he's still Dagwood Bumstead. instead. While Dagwood remains oblivious to not having the ring, he gets one more obstacle in his face as Dithers reveals that Ferguson has bumped up the deadline a full week to the same day as the wedding. And that wouldn't be a possible breach of contract because... And of course, there will be no bonus for any of them if they don't make it.
And I say no bonus, no bumstead.
I'll be able to pay for it in full next payday. Maybe I'll get sent to one of those prisons that has a tennis court.
Do the credit laws in Dagwood State go all the way back to 1800s Britain? Blondie says they can still make both deadlines as long as Dagwood focuses solely on Ferguson while she deals with the wedding plans. You'd think that would have been the plan from the beginning. And Alexander says he'll keep track of all the supplies and finances for both with his new computer. Yeah, we've got that whole character trait of Alexander being a computer nerd again that I still don't remember ever being in the comics, and at least here this is integral to the plot. However, it's integral in the form of more shenanigans! Because apparently Alexander's computer is running on Windows ME and starts screwing everything up.
Hey, this isn't cement.
Cement? Heck no, it's whipping cream.
Whipping cream?
Where do I dump the icing?
Icing?
One long stem flange bolt bouquet, just like you ordered, lady.
Yeah, you're not giving Bill Gates or Steve Jobs a run for their money, kid. So as the renovators turn Ferguson's building into a big wedding cake and Dagwood finally realizes he lost the ring, seriously, he didn't change or check his pants for an entire week? Blondie decides there's only one way to make sure Dagwood gets to the church on time.
We brought the church to you.
Hey, this was a big job for Cathedrals R Us. This is their first gig outside Vegas in years. As the ceremony takes place, Dagwood is about to finally confess about the gift ring and how he lost it when...
Wait! Stop! Cookie!
Oh no, it's Willard.
Cookie! I wanna... Go!
Willard!
Oh yeah. There was this whole side story involving this dorky classmate of Cookie's who had this major crush on her, and he went into a whole panic mode because he thought she was the one getting married and not her parents, because he thinks teenagers can just do that. It basically meant little until this moment where it becomes plot convenience to help Dagwood find the ring.
Oh, Dagwood. Oh, nothing will ever get this ring off my finger.
And then Alexander comes in to reveal the problem with the whole thing was that both the ring and the wedding were being funded by the Ferguson bonus. How would that result in the supplies going to the wrong locations?
What? They spent the bonus twice? That's a laugh! When Ferguson sees all this, there won't even be a bonus!
Don't fret, Blondie. Julius is going to give Dagwood a nice double bonus as a wedding gift. Aren't you, Julius?
And then everything conveniently comes together after Ferguson arrives because the press shows up as well and actually likes the building design.
Tell us, when did you first think of this tasty tribute to the American family?
Why, we here at Ferguson, Inc. are a family. Family, neighborhood, community service. These have always been our most important values.
And I'm Roger Rabbit.
Oh boy, does that make this thing dated.
I want you to see to it that Bumstead gets your share of that big, fat, juicy bonus as well as his own. What?
So now Dagwood is getting 4 times the bonus? Maybe he can send his kids to college after all. So Blondie and Dagwood finally renew their vows, and everyone lives happily ever after. Well, until the ingredients holding the Ferguson building together began to rot and cause a complete structural collapse, and you don't want to know the lawsuits that came out of that. I don't know if I can say Second Wedding Workout is better than the first special, but it works well enough. Like its predecessor, it doesn't have a huge dramatic climax, but one that does feel like it belongs in a TV sitcom, which I guess is appropriate for an adaptation of this strip. Maybe it would have been even better had it been a period piece that dared to go into the couple's old backstory, but it's decent enough for what it is. The good news is that our next Patreon review will be a period piece. Oh boy, is it a period piece! See you next time!